on the use of cannabis to deepen meditation.
And when did you start to experiment the first time, like with the cannabis, also for meditation?
That was not so very long ago. I started actually with ayahuasca for meditation when I was 50 or so.
Yeah.
I dived into ayahuasca just by accident. I was in Amsterdam, I saw a flyer, and I thought, what is this? It was in the last century.
Yeah,
I think it was in the last century. So that was my first exposure, many ayahuasca sessions. And then in an ayahuasca session there was always Santa Maria at the end of the ayahuasca session. Everybody went outside and would blow a bit, marijuana. I thought, oh yeah, marijuana is the other one. And then they told me that it helps to extend the meditative state of ayahuasca. And then I just, perhaps some years later, I started with experimenting with cannabis when I kind of saw everything ayahuasca had to offer. Yeah. And what about you?
With cannabis, well, it obviously it was a part of the 20s, and just as a more like as a recreational party kind of substance, and then it was actually here with at Kintakishot again when we made some experiments with cookies, with cannabis cookies, and I felt it magnifies pretty much everything, the senses, the perception of things, and also the inner world, like everything what's going on there, right? Like the different voices, the default mode network, and all these processes which happen unconsciously within us, and by seeing them much clearer on cannabis, on the influence of cannabis, it's for me also easier to go beyond them and observe them, but then also somehow put them aside, and all of a sudden experience a state of a feeling of a deep rest, freedom, some might say the divine, or like a very meditative state. So I think the magnifying function of cannabis is what I really appreciate of the plant, what it can bring, and how it can help to be in this meditative state.
Yeah, so we just had a question on the Vedic Vibe channel on the use of cannabis as an enhancer for meditation. So many people use cannabis just as a tool to chill out, or to relax a bit, or to go to parties and have a good time with a little bit of alcohol. And of course that helps to relax, but it does not really give the essence of cannabis. I think the essence of cannabis has been grasped quite well by the sadhus in the past in India. They said that the Ganges 3,000 years ago, and they thought, wow, what is life about? And then they smoked a chillum, and then they came up with all these, we thought later, crazy ideas about unity of everything, and everything flows, and they wrote the entire Vedas, and people are even saying that the Vedas, or the old scriptures of Indians, are written because people were under the influence of Soma, and Soma is a kind of ayahuasca at that time. So I think the essence of the answer to this question of this one person on the Vedic Vibe channel, of what is the way to use cannabis, is okay, you can use it as alcohol and with alcohol, but that's not the essence of the plant. The essence of the plant is the magnifying properties, to look within and to recognize the truth within. It magnifies, and you see the mystic knowledge directly in the eye, if you are allowing yourself to see it.
Yeah. And what I also like, it was not immediately obvious to me with cannabis. I had times, and still sometimes, where I feel it's quite challenging, because it also magnifies obviously the negative parts, the negative unconsciousness, which is obviously within all of us, and which can make it quite difficult to experience it as something pleasant, as something nice, as something where you say, yes, this I want to do more often, and I feel so good with it, and it's a great and beautiful feeling. Now it can also get you to this realms, and to this perceptions of this is not good, or I'm not good, or this is I have to be careful. But again, I think if one goes into it, if one lets it happen, if one accepts it, finds a way of embrace it, and say this is part of us, this is a part of being a human, to have those different sides, and also a big portion of unconscious things within us. This obviously is a very powerful and great discovery, or feeling, which I think can really, or it's kind of it becomes a truth, which then lasts forever. I don't want to use this term, but for definitely long time. So it's almost like you get to a next level of seeing yourself, of experiencing yourself, and with the experience, or what you experience with yourself, obviously has a big influence on how you experience the outer world and other beings. And so yeah, with cannabis, I also have this experience that one could describe it as almost a little bit of work, because you have this moment where you say, I don't do it again. It's too confusing. It's I don't know what is happening there. But so you have to go in, you have to allow it, and find a way to look into the eye of it, and accept it, and let it become a truth of you.
Yeah. Okay, so the tip we can give to the people who want to experiment with cannabis in meditation is basically you just select a nice chill environment, not in a party, not with alcohol, but just with one friend, or even alone, or with two friends in a meditative circle. You just sit and relax, and you can start with a meditation even, and then you smoke something, and then you just close the eyes, you go inside, you just observe what is the cannabis telling you, what is happening. And as we discussed in other videos about lights behind the closed eyes, you can just, after a smoke, you can close the eyes and just start by observing very simply what are the lights, what are the colors, and I don't need to create anything, I just watch. And then you might find out that thoughts are happening, you just follow the thoughts. Insights might happen, you just follow the insights. Colors might happen, you just follow the colors. And then step by step, because of its nature, being a divine teacher, you will find out that you get much more access to your own, perhaps transpersonal wisdom, or if you want to say, to the connection to the divine.
So what do? You prepare a nice biological cannabis variety. Optimally, you can bake cookies, or you just use a bong of a nice vaporizer. You sit in a circle or alone with some friends, and you just start taking a cookie or using the bong. And of course, if you take a cookie, it takes an hour or so before you will notice anything. So the best is then to chill down, just lay on the ground and play some nice music. And the moment you start feeling the effects, you just turn off the music. You're going to sit in a circle. And if you use the bong or a vaporizer, you can directly sit in a circle, because with a couple of minutes you will notice. And then you just close the eyes and you just observe and take an hour or so for it, and agree with each other that you're not going to talk. And you can do it in silence or with really very low level music, or some music from Interstellar, for instance. It's really, really nice, or some other meditative music, or just no music. And you just observe the body. If you want to go lay down, that's also okay. You just observe the body and you observe what you perceive. And then with the eyes closed, you want to also observe the light which is happening, depending a bit on the cannabis variety. There are cannabis varieties with a lot of light. Then you will see the internal light, and you just follow it and follow the intuitions you see. And you might hear a voice, and you might start to think about things which you normally don't think about. You just follow everything without interfering, just like a watcher on a hill, and you sink in it, you accept what happens. Everything which happens is okay. It is the sacred plant which shows you what at this particular moment you can see and you can experience. And then just say yes to everything. Take an hour or 2 hours, agree before you start how long. And then at a certain moment you can sit up and share your experiences with your friends, or just slowly come back into the here and now, depending on the state and on what you took and how many you took. You can of course prolong the state by taking another puff of the bong, and if you ate the cookie, you will be kind of okay for the trip, for what you can see for perhaps a couple of hours. You just take your time, and then after the ritual you sit up, everybody is kind of back to normal. Then you can eat some nuts or some fruits and just share your experience. Good luck.